Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Inside Analysis Big Data Ecosystem Market Overview. My name is Rebecca Joswick. I'm Senior Editor and Analyst for the Bloor Group. And today we're happy to be joined by Souther Jones and Wynn White of Birst, and they're going to talk about their BI platform. Souther, take it away.
Thanks so much. Before I jump in and show a demonstration of the product, I did want to give a little background on Birst and talk a little about what you're looking at. Birst is an enterprise caliber cloud BI platform. We provide what we call an end-to-end solution, and that means extract any data of any type, any speed, any size, structured, unstructured, dirty, clean, up into the cloud. We will automate the process of building a warehouse, or if you're technical, a star schema. And then on top of that, we'll put a semantic layer, a logical layer, or a business library or KPIs. And then we provide the full suite of front-end tools. Today's demonstration will focus more on that front-end user tool. The large majority of our customers and our users are your business users, sales reps, marketing managers, product managers, store clerks. We certainly have some data scientists that use our product, but our primary focus has been that average business user. So I'm going to walk through a demonstration today of how a business user would use the Birst product. At the very end, for those technical-minded folks, I will jump in a little bit to our administration console, just so you can get a sense of what that automated data warehouse looks like. One thing that you will notice is that throughout this entire demonstration, if you will see I'm logged into the web. I will not leave. I will not open up a Windows client. I will be on the web the entire time. To my knowledge, we're the only solution out there like that. Every other tool, even the Clean Full Cloud BI, does have some Windows client or desktop-based solution, but not for Birst. Okay, so I'll get into the demonstration. What you see here is a dashboard. I've logged in. You can imagine that I am a sales leader at a retail company. We've named this retail company Mango. You can think of a retail company that sells phones and tablets and MP3 players that would be some other fruit. For the sake of argument, we'll call it Mango. What I have here is a nice visual appeal for a head of sales trying to understand how well am I doing this quarter. And I'm a global company, so I'm not just looking at things in US dollars. I may want to look at things in pounds or euros or Australian dollars, whatever I want. And you can obviously click around that, and Birst is a multilingual, multi-currency application. We have a number of global customers that are leveraging Birst. I can see some KPI charts showing me how well I'm doing. Things look fairly well from an overall perspective. I also see on the right here what every head of sales is always asking, which is, hey, I'm doing well this month, but what is that month to date, and how does that compare to last year or the same quarter? What's great about Birst, as I mentioned, the automated warehouse and the automated automation, is once you've created one metric, for example, your revenue, we automatically create the month to date, the quarter to date, the same quarter last year, the same month last year. All that's part of that Birst automation. That speeds your time to value, and that reduces administrative overhead and increases the accuracy of what you see in your reports. But from view right now, if I'm the head of sales, the one thing that concerns me is I see revenue actually dropping in this most recent month, so I can lasso and drill in on that. You can imagine the consumer experience. This is the way a consumer would think about something. They don't need to type in names or write SQL. I just grab a hold of what I'm interested in. What I see right away is that the revenue in Asia is red. It's not as good as the rest of the world, so let's drill into that. When I'm drilling into that, what I did is I actually went from one dashboard to another dashboard. So a dashboard designer can guide the user and provide, again, a business user with a full breadth of analysis without having to necessarily force them to just drill repeatedly into the same page. This gives me a nice, good visual of what's happening in Asia Pacific. A nice map view. I can not only get scatter plots and bar charts, but something like Australia, I'm concerned. I see a big red bar going down. What's happening there? I can lasso that and even say, okay, where's the growth that's below the line? I'll lasso that. And as you see this, all the charts are updating, all the numbers are updating. And here are a couple cities in Australia where I have a problem. My revenue is dropping, and mobile phones is the area of all my products that is of most concern. So let's take a look at mobile phones. Let's understand what's happening in the mobile phones market. I can go to my product performance page. This represents another way of Birst providing the visualization of data, the idea of a kind of faceted search, where I just want to know what's happening on mobile phones for this most recent year. All right, that doesn't look good. No one likes to see a line; it just continues to go down like that. But some people want to see the column charts, or some people want to see tables, and you should be able to do that in a dashboard. You shouldn't have to send them over to some other Windows client or some other client page to do that. We give folks that flexibility. And clearly I see the revenue dropping, but I also want to know by different things. So, it's not just revenue, it's how much am I selling, or how much inventory is on hand, or not just categories, maybe it's the product type or the product. But let's go and look at inventory on hand. Just taking a quick look at that table, I can see that when I have less than a half a day of inventory on hand, that could be a reason why I'm seeing that drop in revenue. So maybe I have a problem here. Well, let's take a look over at that inventory page. And what you see here again is that idea of that faceted search, but I also have a somewhat, if you will, boring but very informative pixel perfect report. One thing that Birst provides, as I mentioned before, is the full suite of the front end tools, not just an highly interactive dashboard, just drill through and drill anywhere and all those great things, but the idea that I could use that dashboard and all the filtering capabilities on the dashboard to see just a mobile phone, most recent time for Australia, the place where I'm hurting, what exactly is inventory. Maybe I want to create a pixel perfect report and send it out to the folks across my supply chain and say, hey, this is days inventory in hand on every single store for the mobile phones in Australia. We need to fix this problem. So let's not just create that, let's actually allow them to schedule it or even email it out to folks so you can take action right within the application. I can email this to anybody I want. I can send it in a PowerPoint file, Excel, what you want, send some notes with that. And that is closing that loop from some insight into some action. So that's a pixel perfect report. That's something you don't see in a lot of other BI solutions. We have a full design studio to create those reports. They can show on your dashboard, or you can just set them up to schedule. And we have some customers that send out literally thousands of reports on a daily basis to all of either their customers, their partners, or even their employees. So I've shown you a quick run-through of a dashboard demo, and I showed you the Pixel Perfect reports. And what we saw was, hey, we have an inventory problem. But that's a nice use case for perhaps a head of sales or a regional sales manager. Maybe I'm a sales ops person, and I hear about this issue. My VP of sales says, hey, we have this inventory problem. I just sent the report over to the guys in supply chain. They got to fix it. But I say, I'm kind of more of that I like to ask questions guy. I'm not necessarily the guy that loves just the dashboards. I don't want to ask them questions. So maybe I want to understand that inventory problem a little bit more. So what Birst provides is a product we call Visualizer. This is more of a discovery-based use case. So again, making sure that we provide the different front-end capabilities for each of those different users. One thing you'll notice is as I start typing, I add a question about inventory. It's searching through that Birst semantic layer. Everything I showed you on those dashboards were business terms. They weren't column names and tables or anything like that. And as I'm doing discovery, I shouldn't have to know the names of the columns in spreadsheets or anything else. I'll just use business terms. That's the Birst semantic layer. So there is days inventory on hand. That's interesting. I'll start building this out. I want to know what's happening from those days inventory hands in different regions. So I start typing region, it brings it up, and I'm just building this chart out. I don't have to know if I want a bar chart or a line chart. It just does it for me. I'm really only interested in what's happened in the most recent month because that's where my problem is. So I can filter on that. I just drag it over to a filter. I say, yeah, let me see it just for July, this most recent month, and I filtered that. You notice what Visualizer is doing here is it's minimizing my clicks. It's almost doing what an iPhone does where it suggests and knows where your next step's going to go. A ton of time and effort has gone into this product to ensure that we are guiding that user down a path. We're not saying you have to know what you're going to build. We're taking you to your answers. So another example, say, hey, I only want to know for last month. I only want to know it for a mobile phone. So which product category am I most interested in? I'll filter on the mobile phones. Once again, I click there, it automatically tells me, hey, here are the ones you want. Select that, and now you have a chart. But I see, okay, I got a lot of inventory in hand in North America, and we know the problem already in Asia Pac. Maybe I can get some of that over there, right? Yeah, we can send it to supply chain. They can run around and try to move things to the factory faster, but maybe I can actually get some on a plane tonight and get it over to Asia. What stores you know, do I have that? When I drag that over, what Birst does is, again, it recommends a chart. So again, helping and guide that user to the answer. So I'll just make it look like that. That's not all those chart visualizations were not everything Birst provides. It was just the ones that made sense. So, you know, I had a very quick glance, I can see that, you know, essentially in Europe and Asia Pac, we only have our quote-unquote Mango stores. But in North America, we sell our products in, you know, Best Buy and CW and Fry's and Target and Walmart and all those places. But I have a lot. I have, you know, 1,000 days of inventory on hand across my different Mango stores. So, you know, I could keep going for there. But what I've got now is insight, and I think I may have clicked maybe 6 or 7 times that went beyond just, you know, sending out a report that says, hey, go fix this. I now even have more action, which tells me, you know, I can go get some inventory from on these mobile phones in North America, provided they're going to work in Asia Pac, maybe flip the SIM card or whatever and ship them over there. But what also you saw there is I went from a traditional BI dashboard to a discovery, 2 different roles, 2 different use cases. And you know, one of the things about BI that's important for people to understand is that when you're rolling across hundreds of business users, you have to meet their different needs. First, we're providing that. The last thing, as I promised at the beginning, I would go into our administrative side so people get an idea of, hey, what does that look like? You mentioned this automated data warehouse. I won't actually show the building of that. If you're really interested, we do live demos every twice a week, and we show that. But for the sake of this, I'll show you briefly what our administrative console looks like. And you might look at that and go, wow, that looks kind of messy and ugly. And I say, yeah, no, data is messy and ugly, and there's only a few folks out there who really know how to make it work. And what you see on the left here is some sources of data. That would be from a SQL database, an application. In this case, what I showed is about 3 different data sources. One from an inventory management system, one from a CRM system, and one on a spreadsheet. So what Birst does is we automatically build that star schema. So, and you can imagine in most of our customers, we have hundreds of different tables over here on the left, and it's pretty messy and ugly, and it's hard to bring that together. Business user doesn't understand that. What a business user understands are simple facts and dimensions, metrics, and what they want to analyze their business by. Inventory, by store, by channel, by region, that's the way they think. By rep, and what you see here is all those dimensions. What you also see here, there's only one table for rep. There's only one table for product. There's only one table for accounts. That's because we automate the process of conforming that dimension. So you do get that single view of the truth. You get one picture that's all of your key KPIs based on one view of that truth. This is the secret sauce behind Birst. This is how we create that semantic layer. And when you get out of that, what you get is a dashboard, if you will, that gives you business terms that you can run your business on. Again, haven't logged out once, all one application, and that automation is what gives me that speed of growth. So, to summarize again, what started off with is a VP of sales, regional manager trying to drill in and understand what's happening, sales ops person taking a completely different view of it, asking questions through discovery, an administrator being able to build out a automated warehouse, and those different tools for those different users. This is 100% web-based, and we are a cloud company, but about 25% of our customers actually take the Birst, if you will, virtual appliance and deploy it behind their data center wall in their own private cloud or their own data center. And while we are not religious about cloud, what we ensure is that you get the benefits of cloud, which is faster to stand up, fewer FTEs to manage it, and upgrades in real time, so you don't fall behind. We'll still upgrade you, we won't charge you for it, and you'll still get the latest and greatest, but you can run it yourself. So thanks for your time. To learn more, feel free to join us on any live demo. We do them twice a week at birst.com. You can sign up.
Thanks, Southard. I have a question for you. Would you say that Birst users are moving to incorporate big data analytics, or are you finding a lot of customers coming from this big data users who need a BI analytics platform, or is there no distinction?
You know, it's fascinating. What we do see a lot at Birst is the business user is asking questions, saying, "Hey, they don't necessarily say, you know, I need to incorporate my big data." What they say instead is, as an example, I'd like to understand how that recent social media campaign that I ran on is influencing my leads, and is that a cost-effective way for me to generate revenue? That's what business users are asking us. Well, you know what? That happens to come from a big data source. And from a Birst perspective, we're like, sure, we'll do that, and we'll suck in the data, that's unstructured data, run it through an engine that will structure it and put it in Birst so we can mash it up with that lead data that might be coming from, you know, Marketo or Salesforce, and tie that to their ERP so it actually gets to cash. That's what we're seeing at Birst, which is a business user asking a question about how do I understand how things are driving cash or revenue or improving customer satisfaction. Now that data might be big, it may be small, it may be fast, it may be structured, unstructured. Many of them are somewhat indifferent to it. But to answer your question, yeah, we see people using Birst to analyze, you know, big and small data all the time. But what I don't see a lot of is people, at least within Birst, since we primarily serve that business users, a lot of people are just kind of doing science projects. Hey, I'm going to, you know, mine my Twitter feeds to see what's happening. If there's tools out there that do that, and I think there's some people probably having fun in, you know, academic universities studying that, but our users are trying to solve their day-to-day business problems with Birst.
Well, and the traditional data warehouses are being, well, I don't know, assailed might be the word, by all of these new data sources, and like you just explained, you can bring in outside data sources and use that with the historical information that we have been collecting for 20 years that's in our data warehouse. And now we can't throw that out with can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Absolutely, and actually, in fact, one of the things I didn't demonstrate here today, which you know, we do in a lot of our customers, is they say exactly what you said. Is, hey, yeah, there's a whole bunch of new data sources in these Hadoop clusters or these, or whatever you might choose, but I still have my warehouse, and that's really the source of record for much of how I run my business. What Birst does, almost, I'd say more than half of our customers, is we'll do what's called federation. We will send a query down to their warehouse in literally real time and mash that up in our logical layer with data that's in the Birst warehouse, which is coming from some other source. And we're doing that in the cloud. And that's a unique capability that a lot of other solutions don't have. They're very focused on solving like the new data problem, if you will, instead of bringing it together with the old data. Well, you know what? Your old data is how you run your business. So you need to bring them together.
Yeah. Well, and Birst is not that old as a company, and do you remember back in the day the cloud was just such a scary place for so many people when you first started having the conversation?
Yeah. You know, not only do I remember that, but I was actually at Siebel when Salesforce was just a small little company, and people were saying, "Put my customer data in the cloud?" Never. It's so ironic how the world has changed, and not to be not to forecast the future, but I would not be the slightest bit surprised if the whole idea of putting your data in the cloud as part of BI, if people don't even think about it in 4 or 5 years. Right now, it's still a concern, which is, you know, as I mentioned before, why about a quarter of our customers just say, we love Birst, we love everything you're doing, but we're going to do it in our data center. And that's fine, and we're happy to, you know, allow people to do that. But I do think that in a couple of years, that people won't even be asking the question, you know, where it is, our data center, your data center, cloud, whatever.
Yep, amazing how things change. I think that's all the questions I have. Anybody else?
I'm good. I'm with Mary Jo, you know, and it is kind of funny. One of the things I've enjoyed is the slow crawl to the cloud, and just like anything new, and kind of like you were saying, you know, when Salesforce started, and geez, look at it now. Who doesn't use Salesforce?
Yeah, I'd make one additional comment on that, and that is, you know, our differentiator is not the cloud. We believe in the cloud. We think it's the future of applications, and we think there's a lot of benefits to going to the cloud. But our differentiator are really around what we've done for BI in terms of providing a single a single integrated BI platform that basically takes your data, your raw data, and makes it analytic ready, and then builds in a seamless fashion the different tools you need to slice and dice and make sense of it, all within a single UI, web-based UI, all within a single code set. And then the automation capabilities. It's automating some of this functionality across the various different parts, the data modeling, the automated data warehouse building. That saves significant time and resources and allows people to be much more agile in their approach to BI. And really, it's having that being born in the cloud, that has a lot of benefit, but it really is an enabler of those other capabilities. And I think that's in general why you're seeing sort of this replatforming across pretty much all applications to the cloud. And it's just another consumption function. It just makes it easier and really a better way to consume and use these applications.
Yeah, well, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Winnie. You think about the customers that we work with. Who do we compete with? We compete against a lot of on-premise guys, and that's because people aren't concerned about whether or not Birst is cloud or not. They're talking about what are you guys doing? What's your platform? Wow, that's really forward thinking. That's a lot further along than anybody else is thinking. That's why we want to adopt Birst. But where the cloud does help them is, especially if they're a business person, they're saying, I can stand this up tomorrow. I literally, when I sign the contract, I start now. I don't have to go get servers. I don't have to provision things. I don't have to have a bunch of people running disaster recovery and backup and all those things. So that's when the cloud comes in to help businesses get speed and lower administrative costs. So that benefit's there for them. But more often than not, what we're being evaluated on is whether or not we have a platform that's going to solve their business problems more accurately and faster than the others.
And you're succeeding admirably.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, this is great stuff. We've been listening to Birst talk about their cloud and on-prem enterprise BI platform for the Inside Analysis Big Data Ecosystem Market Overview. Guys, thanks so much. Great demo.
Thank you.
Thank you.